What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a little EA story that popped up in my Twitter feed. I quote tweeted it, and I thought this would make a good conversational video. What you see behind me is actually my quarterback for my Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, Madden, and that's important because we're talking about EA. We're talking about live service. So look, we've talked about live service plenty of times. Everybody's entitled to play what they want to play. Everybody can like what they want to like, not like. I've talked about that I actually have, played several live service games. I'm not a fan of the general practice of live service. I'm not a fan of where we're going with it, okay? We've talked about all that stuff. If you want to complain about that or get mad at me, you can, I guess, do it, but you can find my opinions and my longer thoughts in previous videos. In this video, it's going to be a little bit more negative, in terms of live service. So let's talk about what the news actually is. And it comes from Jeff Keighley, funny enough. 73% of EA's revenue last quarter came from live service games. Now, there's a few things. I don't want to come into it completely blind or not thinking of every avenue that you could be thinking of. So in the last quarter, you think of EA, they didn't release much. And when you think of how they've gotten their money, if you just were to say in the comments, right, what are the top 3 games you think they make their money from? Well, I'll tell you at least what I believe: Apex Legends, Madden, FIFA. Now, Madden, I think, came out in August, FIFA, maybe September, right? So, around that fall period. Apex Legends is ongoing. But you think to Jedi Survivor, that's a big EA game that stands out, right? You think of future ones like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, both from BioWare, right? So they will make money from not live service things. And granted, you're looking at it only as a quarter, right? The last quarter, did they really have the opportunity to make a lot of money from single player, that kind of job? No, not really, because there really was nothing that came out. It was more of a focus on, you had some of these sports games, I guess, maybe released. I don't think it were technically released in that quarter, because I think it would be October 1st through December 31st. I'm pretty sure that's the quarter maybe they're talking about. But again, that is probably prime FIFA, time. It's prime Madden time. That's when a lot of people are spending money. So I just want to throw it out there, earlier on, where it's I get it. Was I expecting the numbers to really be any different? Honestly, if you really think about it, no. I understand why the numbers technically are that, just because what did EA actually have out during that time? What realistically would they have made money from during that time? Of course, it'd be live service. However, the tweet that I did, right, and I've said this, I think, before, even in videos, you can't fault companies too much, following trends, right? Well, the thing is, why do they follow trends? Because they tend to work. Now, some companies will follow a trend too late, right? Something will clearly be out of style. A company will do it. They'll do it 2-3 years too late, and, there's no real backtracking there because games take a long time to make. And so, yeah, you could have started the game during the phase, during the craziness of it. You have Ubisoft even having, been doing that in the past. WB, Sony is kind of even late to, live service push. It's happening currently. Square Enix, promising to do NFTs. They said that when NFTs were already unpopular, so they were extremely late to that one. So it does happen. It happens all the time that these companies tend to be late to these things. But I do understand to a degree, and that's what I tweeted, I get it. I get why EA, maybe not just EA, why do companies, right? When they come out and they say every game of ours is going to be live service, no, that's WB, that I'm mimicking there. When they do that, yes, I complain, what I mean? And yes, I have, I think, a lot of issues with that. And again, I'm not going to get too far into the specific because we've talked about that, in previous videos. This is kind of separate. I have a lot of problems with it. But at the same time, when you see these numbers, it is to a degree frustrating, because I understand why EA would want to do live service, because why wouldn't they? What is a good reason why EA shouldn't do live service? And you and I can probably come up with those reasons, and we have. But when they're looking at their quarterly revenue and they see, oh, all of our money, not all, that's an exaggeration, 75%, 3/4 of our money came from live service games. Do you really want them, or do you really expect, that's the better word, do you really expect them to say, yep, hard pivot, we're going to do a hard pivot from live service and we're going to go back to, what I mean? Now, there's a blend, and it isn't just live service. Dragon Age, I'm assuming, is going to make them some money. Mass Effect, I'm assuming, is going to Jedi Survivor did make them a lot of money. You know what I mean? It's just the wrong quarters where these numbers are being shown to us, right? Again, you have to kind of keep that in mind. But it is frustrating in that way. Now, again, I say that with the thing in the back of my head, I guess back here, again, my money is my money, your money is your money, right? So it's like the people that do this stuff, right? It's hard to get like too upset over it or mad at them because they're living their life. You know what I mean? Like, I'll leave them alone if they leave me alone. So I'd never want to overstep. I really don't. And I've actually said this in the past. I really try to pick my battles, right? Where I say, like, hey, you shouldn't do, or like, why are you doing this? You shouldn't do this. And I've actually brought up Madden and sports games as really one of the only kind of coming together things in the industry where it's like, normally I'm pretty respectful of people's money, right? Like, if you want to watch a movie, you streaming service, whatever, that's you, and then I'm me. But like, why do you think Madden has never gotten better? Why do you think it's just stagnant and just, I've watched many reviews on many Madden games over the last 10 years. To me, it's complete garbage. There's a lot of reasons for that, but that's my opinion. Well, why don't they change it? Well, it's because they make $1 billion with a B dollars every year from it. People will not stop spending on the the ultimate teams. They will not stop doing that for Madden. They will not stop doing that for FIFA. They will not stop doing it for Apex. They will not stop doing it for EA's revenue, 73%, right? So when they keep doing it, do you really, and that's the thing, like even Madden, smaller example, do you really expect Madden to ever change? Well, why would they? They should, but why actually would they? Because they don't need to. Because for some reason, people still, and that's the only time where I think I'll step over that line to say, can we please, really focus on what we're spending money on? Again, I try to be respectful of it, but that part of the industry, to me, is pure garbage. Like a lot of the sports stuff, we need like a reform going on, and you will not get it because there's just so many casuals that feed into it. That's why they don't change it. So, that's a specific example with Madden. This is a little bit bigger. This is a little bit skewed because of the quarter and because of which games came out during it, right? So it is definitely different. But there's a couple similar principles, right? If people keep doing this, people keep spending money, and it's their right. It's their money, you know what I mean? But us as onlookers and us as commentators, I guess, right? Why do we wonder why this doesn't change? Well, we shouldn't wonder. We shouldn't wonder why this doesn't change because we kind of know. We know why they do it. It upsets us, but like they are following what works for them. What would stop this is people not spending money on it, right? Like what would actually change Madden is if it didn't make, if it made 1 year $1 billion, and then the next year it made 200 million. It dropped by 80, dropped 800 million, 80%, right? If it did that, that would, I'm pretty sure, have an all hands on deck meeting to figure out what the flying F, and I'm sure they would use some colorful language in that meeting, what in God's name they have to change. But they never have that meeting because, again, why would they need to? They're always making money. No, people complain, yes. There's so many, even from diehard Madden players, there are very serious complaints. But they make so much money that blinds them, right? They don't care about you know what I mean? So that is something that is a part of, I guess, life. And with social media, we see these kind of figures. We kind of know what other people are doing in a way, in a little way, like in their lives, right? And there's not much you can do about it. And that's probably the right thing, right? Like I wouldn't want somebody, we already have that with Hogwarts Legacy, right? Like, hey, if you play this game, we're going to put you on lists. I don't think we should do that. For Madden players, should we like round them all up? Do you want to do that? Is that really, I don't think that would come off all that great, right? It didn't come off well with Hogwarts Legacy. In fact, it empowered Hogwarts Legacy. So I don't know. I really don't know how you fix this problem. If you consider it a problem, right? People that are diehard live service fans, they probably would not consider it a problem. However, I will throw out sports games are definitely live service, and they absolutely need, like, anybody who's going to defend the current culture of like sports games, I will not agree with, and I would find a very hard time even talking to that person because it's just so blatantly terrible. Sports games culture and how they're made, the improvements, which there are none from 1 year to the next, and then the people that just keep buying it and spending money. It's broken, and I will not hear otherwise on that issue. So let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.